welcome to all our listeners and viewers. Meet us in the comments. We are live there. Engage, ask your questions. I mean, if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Because this is the hottest show on the planet. Now, in South Africa, in few days, we will be going to the polls. But this year is a special year because over 60 nations will be going to the polls to choose leaders. And every single one of these nations will get leaders they deserve, good or bad. Because these leaders come from our communities. And I say, when we choose people who look like us. So here's an opportunity for every single one of us again, come the 29th, to choose rightly. Now, to help us choose rightly is a provincial and parliamentary candidate for Build One SA. And he joins me momentarily.
I believe in a South Africa where the economy works for all and where there's at least one job in every home.
Where our children are maths and science champions, not dying in pit latrines.
Where the color of my skin doesn't determine my chances in life.
I believe in a South Africa where all citizens can be proud of their country.
And where my family will not be the next victim of a violent act of crime.
A place where those who steal public monies are arrested and jailed.
This dream is possible, and together we can build one South Africa. I'm Musi Maimane, and on these elections, I'm asking you to vote for Build One South Africa.
Well, there you have it. Another opportunity, another choice. So joining me right now is Emmanuel Munyai, parliamentary and provincial candidate for BOSA. Greetings to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, the presenter and the listeners. I'm glad to be on this podcast today to come and share the knowledge and the wisdom of BOSA for people to make an informed choice on the 29th of May.
Precisely. But before we go there, Zuma told that he's disqualified and the death of the Iran president and the foreign minister. What have you got to say about that? What do you think about Zuma dancing to parliament? Well, he was probably dancing to parliament until the Constitutional Court said, no, it can't happen. What are your thoughts?
Firstly, I will say condolences to the Iranian president who perished through the helicopter crash. Our hearts are with his families. I say condolences as one of the South Africans. And then looking at the Zuma story, remember, there is this clause which says if you are being imprisoned or you have been sentenced for a period longer than 15 months, then you cannot be an eligible candidate of the parliament of the or the provincial legislature. However, when it comes to Zuma, he was able to play legally in an instance that one way or another, the IEC end up saying he can be the party leader and not be the candidate, of which now it was like playing tactics with our constitutional democracy. Because at the end of the day, it's to say to the people, you can commit crime, you can then find ways to go to the parliament, which I do congratulate the decisions of the Constitutional Court for today that no, he cannot lead South Africans having this skeleton behind him. It's a very wise decision and it's a very informed decision to say to the future of this country, you cannot commit crime and then run away with it. You cannot lead having not be able to lead your own soul, to control yourself with those skeletons. I thanks.
Let's come back to BOSA, Build One South Africa. What do you mean by that? Is it even possible to build one South Africa? we have so many divisions in the nation, and most of them are caused by the politicians themselves. Is it possible? What does one South Africa look like? Emmanuel?
A man with a vision see the possibility beyond the doubt of the many. What do I mean is that as Build One South Africa, we have seen it. It's possible for us to come back together and say, guys, let's unite and build one South Africa. It is an achievable dream. It is a possible dream. If you check, even our constitution supports the theme or the name Build One South Africa. So it takes men and women like myself and yourself to come together and say, let's have one united South Africa. Let us not have a South Africa of Vendas. Let us not have a South Africa of Zulus. Let us have South Africa of each and everyone who live in it, either black and white. That takes that's an effort of each and every citizen come together and say, let's ignore our past differences. Let's ignore our race. And we come together and build this country because it's our responsibility to leave a legacy which will live forever than to destroy the legacy of this country. We carry the responsibility of creating the history of uniqueness, the history of unity. And it stays within us as South Africans to say, it is time to have that rainbow nation. And to have that rainbow nation, it will take the aspects of saying, let's deal away with crime. Let's deal away with unemployment. Let's deal away with race issues. We do away with those things. We do away with hunger and starvation. We will build that rainbow nation because some of these things are caused because of lack of service delivery, including race issue, including unemployment. Those are some of the things which will say, okay, white people are privileged, black people are not privileged. However, if we say we are building one South Africa, we are removing all the privileges and say we are one and we can achieve a common goal together.
So you're saying no more coloreds, no more blacks or African, no more Indians, but all one. Tell us why build one South Africa. What are your main objectives to the people? What are you bringing to the table? The Bible says the more churches, the more pastors we have, the more problems we've heard in the society.
Our main objective.
Yes.
Now, the main objectives we have in Build One South Africa is to say, let's create a South Africa which everyone will have access to resources which are in this country. Everyone will have access to opportunities in this country. It should not be this particular individual is privileged than this one. Let us crush the issue of privileges and have that one South Africa which we all need to have. So as Build One South Africa, we are saying, number one, let's deal with crime, because this is the cornerstone of division. This is the cornerstone of poor service delivery. If we deal with crime decisively, if we create police stations which are active, which are centralized, which are easily accessed by each and every citizen, that's when now we are starting to build. And that's where now we are saying to South Africa, and after Madrid, there is nothing after that. And majority of the people who pass with 30%, they end up nowhere. Let us have our CPF members being part of our security personnel in this instance. Our CPF members, they should be part of our South African police services, being in their own residential areas. That will also reduce crime. Let us destroy load shedding. Because load shedding has destroyed so many things, so many jobs, so many things. So many people are in pains today because of load shedding. Let us do away with load shedding. So those are some of the things which we say in Build One South Africa. Let us come together and we build this country together. Secondly, we are that organization which says we are community-based organization. If you check in the model of Build One South Africa, the way we choose leaders, we don't have the so-called conference. So we are saying to the communities, elect the person whom you trust, This is the person who will be the candidate who will represent you in your community. And that helps a lot in building one country, and it helps a lot in building the country which we all dreamed of living. Thanks.
Well, thank you for that. There are those who say, well, actually, the Bible says the more churches we've heard, the more problems we have in society. The more pastors we have, the more problems we have in society. And I think this is exactly like politicians and political parties. The more political parties we have seen, I mean, in abundance we have them now, the more problems. What are your thoughts about all these political parties? Really? You are laughing, Emmanuel?
You know, I really enjoy our constitution the most. Act 108 of 1996, which is our constitution. Yes. I really enjoy it because it talks about freedom of choice. And then let us embrace the freedom of choice. Having these many political organizations, it says to people to say, look, let's have the freedom of choice. Let the man with bigger presentation, let the man who has South Africans in his heart come forward, and you have a better choice. You have an informed choice to choose who will lead you going forward. So having so many political organizations to South Africans, I say to them, guys, let's embrace our constitution. Let's embrace the fact that we have the freedom of choice, and let's enjoy this freedom of choice by having so many political organization, and it gives you the opportunity to choose the best leader who suit what you need the most.
You say jobs in every home. How do you plan to achieve that? I thought governments don't create jobs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
Government don't create jobs. It's true. And yes, we are seeing jobs in every home. Now, jobs in every home, it responds back to what I've said now, to say we have this model of leadership whereby a community elect an individual to lead them in that community, whether that person will be leading in a provincial portfolio or in a national legislation.
Yes.
If you choose somebody like myself now, I'm in Limpopo. I know much about Limpopo's problem. And if you are aware about Limpopo, Limpopo is rich in farming. And then with that farming, we can be able to put a job in every home. Let me give you this scenario. Most of the rural areas, they have problems with road. And when we start fixing the road, I wanted to give you a simple example. If we fix one road and that road becomes busy, this is what's going to happen. When the road starts to be busy, there are people who are good in mechanics. They will sit next to the road. They're good, who can cook, start cooking. That's when our retail start first. Now, let me talk about Limpopo, where we have mangoes, we have avocados. We have to sell them outside, like our gold. We sell our gold to the outside world, uncut and clean, and then it comes back to us and be sold in a higher price. That's what's happening with the fruits in Limpopo. The fruits come, we have fruit in Limpopo, we sell them out in a cheaper price. That it gets processed, it makes cooking oils, it makes so many products. It comes back to us expensive. Why can't we create it from our homes? Why can't we have those factories in our villages to say, look, this guy is producing avocados, this guy is producing bananas. He can be able to make fruits, you can be able to make juice from this one, and we start selling from that. I talk about alu. Most of the South Africans, they don't plant alu. You plant alu, you check how much price is it on a retail, a pure alu. So those are the things which, as leaders, we can use them to say, we can plant, we can put a job in every home. Within 100 days in government, we can be able to achieve that. How do we achieve that? We go back to the community and say, community, we work together. This is the plan. If we have the leadership who work together with the community, the dream is achievable. Thanks.
If we have leaders who work together with the community, the dream is achievable. The dream of a job in every home. That's what Build One South Africa is saying. We have plenty of choices as South Africans, and I hope South Africans are paying attention to this. Let's move to the issue of Israel-Hamas war. For a believer of him who hung on the cross, they will be interested to know what is the stance of Build One South Africa concerning the Israel-Hamas war. Emmanuel?
Yeah, you know, if we check before we reach to Israel, we have war in DRC. We have war between Russia and Ukraine. What we say as Build One South Africa, we say, let's try to find a two-state solution. If we find a two-state solution and try to resolve what's happening between these two countries, that could help these countries to reach a better informed decision. However, if we take sides and say this side is wrong and that side is wrong, then we are dividing. Let's have the two-state solution. Let's make use of the United Nations. What is the United Nations doing in the situation which is happening between Hamas and Israel today? Are they not standing in the fence? Which side are they taking? Because that should have been extinguished by now. It has been since October last year, since 7 October last year, the war has been going on. But the UN is there. What as Build One South Africa we are saying is that let's have a two-state solution. What I'm saying is that let's have Israel and Hamas sitting together on the same table and come with decision. We must not allow Israel to impose decision on Hamas, and we must not allow Hamas to impose decision on Israel. Let's have them together and find a better solution that will result in a two-state solution which favors the two. Because if we say we are standing with Israel, we'll be against Hamas. And if we say we're standing with Hamas, we'll be against Israel. So let's have a two-state solution which will be able to resolve the problem within the Israel. The same with DRC and the same with Ukraine versus Russia. We need two-state solution that will help. Let's have leaders who are ready to sit down and not sacrifice the lives of the innocent people. Because now leaders are not suffering. The lives of the citizens are the ones which are perishing each and every day. If we have leaders who cares, the true Israel and Hamas, they will come together and say, no, guys, let's fix this thing. And we will have a better solution between those two countries, because they themselves, they know better how we can deal with this thing. It's a matter of saying who has power than who. And if they swallow their egos, they can solve this matter. Thanks.
Wow. If they swallow their egos, they can solve this matter. Take this opportunity, because we're at the tail end, and talk to our listeners and viewers. Why should they vote BOSA, Build One South Africa, with Mmusi Maimane and Emmanuel Munyai and others? Why you really? This is your time. Sell yourself.
To all your viewers and listeners, as Build One South Africa, first we are saying, let's do away with that South Africa of Zulus. Let's do away with that South Africa of Vendas, of Songas. Let's have one South Africa. Let's have one South Africa of common goal, a goal of eradicating crime, a goal of doing away with load shedding, a goal of doing away with unemployment, and a goal of doing away with poor education and poor health care. If we come together and say we need to do away with gold, it is very much achievable. As Build One South Africa, we are saying we have a clear mandate to each and every South African, which will serve the purpose of each and putting a job in every home for me who understand far much better issues. Let's take the power back. All could be able to be part part and participate in the issues of government. So when you vote BOSA, you are voting yourself into power. You are not only voting particular individual to go in parliament and provincial legislature to lead you. You are electing yourself to be part of leadership, to be part of change, to be part of development, and to be part of change which you want to see. It's 2024 this year. Let's use that slogan which some are saying 2024 is our 1994. This is the time whereby you should elect BOSA to be in government, to unite and have a job in each and every home. It is possible because the leaders we are having, they are living with you, and it is possible because you will be the one who is leading going forward. With that message, I say on the 29th, put your cross on BOSA. I thank you.
That is it. On the 29th, you have plenty of choices. And BOSA says, make us your choice. Give us a chance. That was Emmanuel Munyai from Build One South Africa.
I believe in a South Africa where the economy works for all and where there's at least one job in every home.
Where our children are maths and science champions, not dying in pit latrines.
Where the color of my skin doesn't determine my chances in life.
I believe in a South Africa where all citizens can be proud of their country.
And where my family will not be the next victim of a violent act of crime.
A place where those who steal public monies are arrested and jailed.
This dream is possible, and together we can build one South Africa. I'm Musi Maimane, and on these elections, I'm asking you to vote for Build One South Africa.
So, Emmanuel, where can people get more information about Build One South Africa? Read your manifestos and all that. Your last words, please.
For BOSA, you can go to www.bosa.org. That's where you will find the manifesto of BOSA. And then you can also call me personally. I'm available at 081-5467-689. I'm available 24/7 to service the people, to say the people, yes, the leader who is available, who is not busy for you, who is ready to serve you. So for the manifesto, they can check on the BOSA website. That's where now they can also raise the questions which they think they need to ask about the manifesto. Anything about BOSA is there in our website. Or it can be candidates, the model which we elect candidates. It can be our manifesto, the jobs manifesto. It can be our rally on the 20th. You will find. Alternatively, you can go on X. We all have a page on X. It's bosa.co.za. We have it's BOSA on Facebook, so available through the mails and all means of communication. So BOSA, it's a democratic organization where our doors are always open. Thanks.
Well, all those details are available in the descriptions. If you are missing anything, go ahead and call Emmanuel or call BOSA, anyone really. There you have it from myself and Emmanuel. It's well done.
I believe in a South Africa where the economy works for all and where there's at least one job in every home.
Where our children are maths and science champions, not dying in pit latrines.
Where the color of my skin doesn't determine my chances in life.
I believe in a South Africa where all citizens can be proud of their country.
And where my family will not be the next victim of a violent act of crime.
A place where those who steal public monies are arrested and jailed.
This dream is possible, and together we can build one South Africa. I'm Musi Maimane, and on these elections, I'm asking you to vote for Build One South Africa.